Elizabeth with t0inky TV, and I'm here to do My Love from Another Star, episode 17. Yay! So we resume where episode 16 left off, where Do Manager is just tearfully crying because he's going to have to leave Earth in 1 month's time and not coming back. So Chon-seong-yi is, of course, very upset, and she's kind of indignant about the fact that he's going to leave her. And she's Chon-seong-yi, so, you know, how could this ever happen? And she's really, really upset about it. And I would be too, because, you know, she finally meets the man of her dreams, or the alien of her dreams, and now he's saying he only has 1 month's time and he has to leave. So I'm sure she's just very put out. So I gotta say, the next scene is just the funniest thing ever, because Chon-seong-yi is still Chon-seong-yi, and so she goes into Semi's car and she just like, I'm getting a ride back with you from Seoul to Seoul, and so she goes in and they're playing some kind of like happy US song, and she's like, this is not fitting my mood. She's sobbing, it's making everybody uncomfortable, and she's like saying, well, can we do this song? And it's like some like tragic love story song, and then, you know, or this song, and it's this other just tragic love story title where it's kind of befitting of her and Do Manager's situation. And then she finally says, oh, well, you know, I Can't Let You Go, that song. And it's just like a bunch of different songs where you're kind of like, oh, she is very, very heartbroken, heartsick over this. She's crying and she's making everybody in the car so uncomfortable. And that's so Chon-seong-yi, and I really give her props for carrying that scene off because it was so cute and it just makes her even more endearing and sweet. So in the meantime, while his sister is sobbing her heart out in her room, Young-jae, Chon-seong-yi's little brother, hears something on the news where it's the comets, they're coming towards the Earth, but something happens to one of the comets and it like disintegrates near the sun. So I'm sure that that's a key moment or a key part of this, what's going to happen in the future with Do Manager. So I'm not sure what's happening, but you don't, like, I definitely think that they place little kind of like bread trails here and there to show something that's going to happen in the future, and I'm sure this is a significant piece. And in the morning, he hears her mother saying, well, where are you going? I'm going for a jog. And so Chon-seong-yi goes for a jog, and Do Manager tries to chase after her, keeps up with her, and Chon-seong-yi wants nothing to do with it. And then, hello, at this scene, you have a great entrance for Suzy from Miss A as Go-hemi from Dream High, and she's telling Do Manager, you know, you look just like my old boyfriend. And she names the guy from Dream High, which was, I think, Samdong, and which is Kim Soo-hyun's character from that drama. And it was just such a cute scene. You know, you see Go-hemi and or Suzy, and she's like all lit up in this like fuzzy kind of ethereal glow, and she's like just like Go-hemi, where she has kind of like the same Chon-seong-yi, like very big personality, very full of herself, kind of like endearingly sweet, but kind of like, oh, you can't believe she just said that kind of stuff. And she's trying to pick up on her professor, and she's like, oh, you know, I flunked my class just to be with you, and my parents were so upset, and, you know, don't you remember me? Well, you might not remember me because I'm prettier than I was back then. So she's still pretty cute, pretty funny, and it was just such a cute reunion scene that I really enjoyed this. And of course, what I enjoyed more was that Chon-seong-yi was getting super jealous. Yay. And the funny thing is that Chon-seong-yi is just super jealous, and she's like, you know, and Go-hemi or Suzy, she's like putting on the full charm with the aegyo, and she's trying to get Do Manager's telephone number, and during the middle of it, in the midst of it, Chon-seong-yi like rams her back into it, sticks her butt into the whole situation and puts the two, you know, splits them apart. And Chon-seong-yi, like, after she sees them kind of chatting, she can't stand it anymore, so she tells Do Manager, I have time to talk right now. If you don't have time, then, you know, we won't ever talk. So he's like, talk to me now, and she storms off, and then Do Manager like chases after him, and then Suzy's like, oh, that Ajima, I can't believe she just butted in, and she's like some like second-rate, you know, Chon-seong-yi kind of look-alike. which was hilarious. The whole thing was so cute and so well timed. So the next scenes was super funny, and I can't say any one scene is my favorite over the other because they're all really good. They're all very well acted. And so Do Manager is drinking with his father, Lawyer Jang, and then Chung Sung-hee is drinking and, well, mostly eating collagen parts for her, you know, youthful appearance with her best friend. And so Lawyer Jang gets Do Manager drunk, which is a bad thing. They even know before going in that Do Manager can't drink. But he's like, Lawyer Jang's like, oh, that's okay. He's probably gonna just like toss a few things around in the air. No, that doesn't happen. And then all of a sudden he's out on the balcony, and then all the rest of the lights go out, and then it's basically a soul blackout because Do Manager is so sad that he can't be with Chung Sung-hee. So Chung Sung-hee is done with her dinner with her friend, and she comes home, and oh, in her bedroom, in her bed is Do Manager. And she's like, oh, you need to leave. You need to go. She says it so quietly that of course he's not going to hear. And then after like this futile attempt of making him leave, which is basically no attempt at all, she's like, oh, okay, I guess you have to stay. Chung Sung-hee is like, you know, what are you doing in my room? What are you doing in my bed? You know, this is not acceptable. And so she gets really close up into his face, and he's like, you need to go back, you need to go back. And she's like, why? He's like, I can't think. And all of a sudden she swoops in for the kiss, and then he's like, why did you do that? And she's like, oh, so are you mad? Are you mad? And then he's like, well, then now you know how I feel. So that was actually pretty cute. And I really give props to Chung Sung-hee for, you know, giving it back to Do Manager just as much as he's been giving it to her. And then there's this hilarious scene where, you know, the mom and the brother is trying to get into the room, and she's like, get out, get out. And then because he's hungover or whatever happens with his alien powers, he's not able to like zap out of her room. And so he has to climb out like any typical normal human. And she's like, oh, this is just so not good. And I think that that was actually a pretty cute scene as well. And oh goodness, there is so much going on in this drama. There's so much going on in this, just scene after scene. It gets better and better. And this is where Chung Sung-hee is talking through, just talking out loud, but she is hoping that Do Manager is listening. And so she just goes through a very heartfelt, heart-wrenching speech about how she is so fickle and she's like so like wishy-washy and all over the place that, you know, maybe in a month's time that she will get over him because she's gotten over different fan clubs, she's gotten over different, you know, K-pop boy groups. And so, you know, in a month's time, maybe she'll get over him because she'll be sick of him or get tired of him. So they should do all the things that most couples do in 1 month, 2 years, 3 years from now. So she's like, let's just compact it into 1 month, and maybe by that time she'll be sick of him, and let's just move on to each other's, like, you know, stuff. So that's what she suggested. And then Do Manager is on the other side saying, well, how am I supposed to forget you? Which is just like, oh, you know, that's just heart-wrenching. And during this time where they're having a very romantic interlude, Hee-kyung is very busy doing his own thing. So whereas the prosecutor and the detective went into the mental hospital searching for Jae-kyung's ex-wife, they weren't able to find her. But in the background scene, what you see is Hee-kyung making a pact with Do Manager, asking him to partner with him to get Jae-kyung's ex-wife out of the mental institution. So when the prosecutor and the detective went in, they knew that somehow they would, Jae-kyung's ex-wife would be transported out, and so they followed her as they transported it out. And then Hee-kyung asked Do Manager, during this time, will you freeze time, get her out, pull her out so that we can help to, you know, stop my brother from his psychotic mess. And then Do Manager agreed because Chung Sung-hee would benefit and be saved in the end. And along with this, Jae-kyung gets invited to go to lunch with his brother, Hee-kyung, for a surprise visitor and, you know, this whole thing. And during this time while he was going to the lunch, he gets a call from his henchman saying that his ex-wife was nowhere to be found. And then he was about to leave, but Hee-kyung stopped Jae-kyung and said, no, you really need to attend this lunch meeting. And so as he opens the door, there's his ex-wife. sitting there with the prosecutor and the detective. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is like totally big time drama. Do manager and Chung Sung-yi were having a very romantic getaway vacation together. And so Chung Sung-yi had the cutest dialogue and script for her upcoming film scene. And she had Do manager run lines with her, and it was the cheesiest lines, like, you know, you're the most beautiful girl ever, you never have to lose weight, all these young girls, they mean nothing, they're just loud and obnoxious. But at the end, he just kind of was like reading it and he's like, oh, I can't read the rest. And then she's like, why? And then like later on you see that she's searching for him and then she can't find him and she's getting so desperate and upset that he might have left for his home planet without saying goodbye. She just is in a state of panic, and then that's when Do manager comes in and says, I will stay with you, I won't go home, and I'll be with you forever. And this is where I was like, I was just torn. You know, he's giving up a lot for Chung Sung-yi. And the epilogue is so cute because she actually wrote the script and she wrote out what she really wanted to hear him say, which he ended up saying in pretty much agreeing to stay on Earth for her. So yeah, I absolutely love My Love from Another Star. I love Ji-hyun, I love Soo-hyun, and the thing is that they're such good actors. Like, this is such a far-fetched story plotline that, you know, if they weren't as good as they are, it would fall short. Like, there could be so many things where the ball is dropped. So I just give so much props to the both of them. And then Hee-kyung and Yoo-ina's character, they're also very good supporting cast. And even the evil Jae-hyung, he's doing really well as well. Lawyer Jang, I absolutely think he's adorable and cute because I remember him from Coffee Prince. He plays the quirky older ajashi guy, very cute. So let me know what your thoughts are on My Love from Another Star, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.